Hello everyone, welcome to the course Geotechnical Engineering 2. So in this module number 5 and lecture number 6, we will be discussing on the pile load test. Let us now look at the course outline quickly. So initially we have discussed what do we mean by pile foundation, and we have understood what do we mean by load carrying capacity and different concepts related to the load carrying capacity. So today we will be discussing the pile load test as well as efficiency. Okay, now so coming to the pile load test, this is one of the most reliable methods for the determination of pile capacity. That means the strength is nothing but the pile capacity. So this is one of the most reliable method for the determination of pile capacity. Okay, and this test is the in situ test. That means it can be conducted in the field itself. So this type of test must be conducted at the cutoff levels. That means what do we mean by these cutoff levels? That means wherever we are installing this particular pile at this particular depth, okay, if we are constructing any pile cap or any beams to support these number of piles, so at that level, okay, at that level you need to conduct this particular test. Okay, so that level is known as the cutoff level. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram here, this entire setup is similar to that of our plate load test. The only difference is that instead of a excavated portion, this test is conducted at the ground level itself, and instead of a bearing plate, here this pile, that is a test pile, is actually placed. Okay, so this test pile is now driven into the ground with the help of a hydraulic jack. Okay, and there is a test plate that is placed on top of this pile so that it will distribute the load to the pile, and then it is driven into the ground. Okay, the other setup is similar to that of the plate load test, where it consists of the test beams, okay, as well as the steel plate and dial gauge to measure the vertical displacement. Clear? So this pile load test is generally conducted to fulfill certain objectives. So these are generally used to determine the ultimate as well as the safe load that can be applied on the piles. Okay, and to counter check the results from static and pile driven formula. Okay, that means we can counter check the results from static as well as the pile driven formula. This test can be used. Apart from that, it is helpful in determining the load settlement behavior of a particular pile. That means depending upon the amount of load that is applied, we can observe the settlement of a pile, and that too especially in the region of anticipated working load. Okay, that the data can be used in the prediction of the group settlement. So if you are considering any group of piles, okay, which is attached to a pile cap, then the settlement, the group settlement of the particular pile group can be predicted. Clear? So this test can be useful for that. And finally, it is helpful in verifying the structural soundness of the pile. Okay, now so if you look at this particular diagram here, okay, generally this pile load test arrangement, okay, may be either of a reaction frame or a dead load for a particular reaction. That means whatever load that we are giving onto this particular pile may be of a self weight of a block. Okay, so this is called as a dead load, and this may be a reaction setup, okay, in this manner connected to a beam. And if you look at this particular diagram here, so this is a Kentledge setup for the loading test. Okay, the main purpose of this is to provide the resistance against jacking. Okay, this sort of arrangement is used in the pile load test only to make sure that the resistance is offered against the jacking. Okay, now so coming to the other type, that is the loading test using anchorage system. Okay, so if you look at this particular diagram, these are the reference frames that are there, okay, on the ground, and in the same diagram if you look at here, this particular thing is a reference frame and this particular thing is a reaction beam. Okay, so there is an anchored pile here to restrain the loading during jacking. Okay, so this is the arrangement. Apart from that, we have the other one, that is the hydraulic jack pile arrangement. So if you look at this particular diagram here, this is a hydraulic jack that is attached here, and this is a test plate, so the loading frame is in this manner. Okay, and above this there is a Kentledge, and this particular one is the reference frame. Okay, and here this can be used for measuring the settlement. Okay, and here if you look at here, there is a deflectometer for measuring the settlement here. Clear? Now, so let us look at the procedure here in detail. So Indian Standard 2911 Part 4 2013 is referred for the procedure of pile load test. So here the initial setup, okay, the initial setup consists of two anchored piles. It consists of two anchored piles which is provided with the anchor girder or the reaction girder or the top of the arrangement. Okay, so for that particular arrangement, for the two anchor piles that are there, on top there is an anchor girder or a reaction girder placed initially, and then the test pile is then installed. Okay, it is installed between these anchor piles. Okay, if we are placing two anchor piles, between that this test pile is installed, just like how we are installing the foundation pile. Okay, now, so the test pile should be at least 3 times B or 2.5 meter clear from the anchor pile. Okay, so it should be at a distance of minimum 3B or 2.5 meter, and the test is conducted after a rest period of 3 days. Okay, after a rest period of 3 days, the test is then conducted, that too after the installation, okay, in sandy soils, and a period of 1 month in case of silt and soft clays. That means this shall be 3 days in case of installation in sandy soils, but in case of the soft clays and silts it is 1 month. Okay, so the test should be conducted after a certain period of time. Now, so the load is then applied through the hydraulic jog resting on the reaction girder or the truss. That means whatever the load is there, that is actually applied through this hydraulic jog that is resting on the reaction girder or the truss. Okay, because it can be either a reaction frame or a truss sort of arrangement. And later the measurement of the pile, okay, the measurement of this pile movement can be taken with respect to a fixed reference mark. Okay, if we take a fixed reference mark, with respect to that we can observe the movement of the pile. Okay, and the load is applied equal to an increment about 20%, okay, of the allowable load. So whatever allowable load that is there, for at regular intervals we will increase it about 20% of the allowable load. Okay, so the settlement should be recorded for 3 dial gauges. Okay, that means it should be recorded with the 3 dial gauges. Okay, now, okay, so apart from that, each stage of loading must be maintained up to a certain limit. Okay, that is, we must carry in case of the sandy soils up to the rate of movement not more than 0.1 mm per hour, and in case of clayey soils it is 0.02 mm per hour. Okay, so up to this particular rate of movement, okay, that is 0.1 mm per hour in case of sandy soils, and in case of clayey soils it is 0.02 mm per hour. So up to that particular rate of movement the loading must be maintained. Clear? Now, so depending upon the test results we can plot a load settlement curve, okay, taking along the x-axis the load and along the y-axis the settlement. Okay, so in such way the graph may be observed in this manner. Okay, and once the load is released, what happens, it may try to come back to its certain position, so there may be some uplift because of removal of this load. Okay, clear? So this region is nothing but the gross settlement region during the unloading, and for any given load the net pile settlement is represented by Sn, and is obtained by Sn is equals to St plus Se, where St is the total gross settlement, St is the total gross settlement, and Se is the elastic settlement. That means after removal of the load, whatever rebound that is happening, that is given by SE. Clear? So the total settlement of the pile or the net pile settlement is given by Sn. It is given by Sn, so it is obtained by St minus Se. Okay, where St is the net settlement or the gross settlement initially, and then after removal of the road, whatever uplift that is taking place, so that is measured as Se. So it is the elastic settlement. So subtracting that from the gross settlement, we will get our net settlement. Clear? Now, so a similar plot may be observed for two different samples. Let us say there is an reinforced sample of soil and unreinforced sample of soil. So unreinforced means there is no pile immersed. So in such case, the settlement curve may be in this manner. Okay. So because of certain reinforcement, the settlement may be observed in this manner due to some external load application. Okay. This is just for your understanding. So in the upcoming lecture, we will try to discuss about the pile groups. Okay. So as we have stated till now that a group of piles which are constructed together are nothing but a pile group. Okay, so we will look at what do we mean by pile group and why we have to implement this pile group in the upcoming lecture. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you have understood very well. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.